Hi there, my name's Moira MacDonald and I try to make things with paper. I would consider myself a paper crafter. I started out making cards, then kind of graduated to junk journals, and if you don't know what junk journals are, look back on some of my videos and you'd hopefully pick up the theme. Anyway, it's getting near Christmas and I thought I really should get my finger out and actually start making some Christmas cards. I'm not making them to sell, I'm making Christmas cards for the few friends I have. And that makes it sound kind of tragic and sad, and I don't mean it like that. Simple fact of the matter is I don't mix, I don't work, so I don't socialise as such. I don't come into contact with many people unless you consider the folk that I know through having made videos. And the good thing is I have made some really good friends through making videos on YouTube and through Instagram. Used to have a Twitter account, I actually still do have a Twitter account, but I use that purely for socialising with one person who I've been in touch with for quite a number of years now, and that was a relationship that started out through a mutual appreciation of dogs. So it's got nothing to do with paper crafting, it's just a friend, and it's nice to sometimes realise that there's more to you than just making cards and things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a measure of pleasure from making cards and other paper craft items, but it's not just, you know, there's more to me than that, put it like that. Anyway, let's not delve too deeply into that, let's just make something. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make a card and I'm going to make a tag. Some folk that I know get a card, some might just get a tag. The thing about the tag is I was thinking, it probably, assuming that it looks quite nice, it could be something that would be quite nice to maybe hang on a tree each year as a wee kind of reminder of the friendship that we have. It would make a nice... I've watched, actually, you know, for years I've watched videos of folk making things, and I must admit some of them I didn't get the tag thing, if you like, because some folk will just make tags, right? And I didn't understand what that was all about, because I thought, oh, well, what's the purpose of this? But I think the thing is, some folk actually do use them as a substitute for making a card. You know, they would much rather make a tag for somebody, and I think that's fair enough. Obviously you don't sit it on your mantelpiece the way you would a card, or maybe you do, I don't know. The thing is, it's the sort of thing that another paper crafter would really like. I think if you randomly sent it to just a friend, they would probably look at a tag and think, what on earth am I meant to do with this? Because they would think of tags as being nothing other than just you know, something that you attach to a gift. So while obviously you can do that, I think literally some folk just like them from the point of view of maybe displaying them. And I think if you were doing this for, you know, the likes of this, you could easily use it as a, what do you call it, a tree decoration. So I've got some just normal, this wasn't a Christmas paper, it was just normal kind of scrapbooking paper I had, and I've cut that to fit the actual tag. The tag itself is made from what is described as grey board. I've got to assume it's intended to provide some sort of structure behind a piece of artwork. So that's had a look online to see if I could find anybody that sold tags that I could use for this, so that I didn't need to do any major legwork myself. And I managed to find some through Budley Crafts, which is a British crafting site. Can't remember if it's budleycrafts.com or budleycrafts.co.uk. You know what it's like when you use one particular website often enough, you don't need to type it all in, it's just your Google and your, your cookies know who you're looking for, generally speaking. Now I'm just distressing this with a pair of scissors. I know there's a wee, you can get a wee fancy craft tool that Tim Holtz sells that's specifically for distressing, but you can use a pair of scissors and it works just the same way. You're basically just scraping a wee bit of the edge of the paper, and I distressed it with my distressing tool first to hopefully show it up even more. And I'm going to be sticking that on the centre of this. Now, do I want to stick it straight down or do I want to elevate it? Again, this is one of these things that's, it's really quite, oops, look at all the wee bits I've scraped off. It's really quite difficult to know. See, when your ultimate plan is to mail something, I am inclined to think that while you like a bit of dimension because it makes the tag itself and the card more attractive, the problem is you can sometimes add so much dimension that it's nigh on impossible getting it into a, what do you call it, an envelope. I was just checking, I'm definitely filming there. I don't even know if I'm in sight, but hopefully I am. Right, so I'm going to use a wee bit of glue and I'm just going to stick this down. There will be a degree of dimension on this, but not necessarily on this particular layer. I've not made anything for at least a week. I've lost all interest in making stuff, and that's for a variety of reasons. In fact, I was thinking of doing a kind of video log to discuss that, because there has been some stuff happening recently in the world of craft that I thought I could easily put in my tuppence worth here. Now I'm going to be adding to this a vintage image. I've printed out some nice pictures, so I'll just choose the next one down. All my cards and tags are going to be pretty much variations on a theme. It's going to be the same basic design. I've seen the day when I would try and make everything absolutely different because I really wanted things to be quite individual. And they will, don't get me wrong, they will be individual because I'm going to be using different papers and whatever, but the basic concept's going to be the same for them all. And my intention again on this is that it will be paper crafting, not paper crafting here, let's slap some lace on this. Just going to do the distressing thing again, and if you happen to nick, you know, put a tiny tear in the paper, it's not the end of the world, because again the whole point is that you're trying to make this look kind of old. Right, that'll do for that. So I've got my basic background here. Got some stickers through the post the other day that I'd ordered on AliExpress. I might put a wee, they're just stickers, but they're kind of, I've got some clocks, and I really like clocks. So I was thinking of maybe adding one as a part of the decor. That would be quite nice there. I would go around that with a wee bit of distressing ink. It's always handy when you discover that you've just bought something, you decide to use it in a video, and then you realise you can't get it opened. Oh gosh, this is difficult. Come on, you wee rascal. Oh, we're getting there. Yeah. There we go. Now let's try and make sure we get this straight, because there's nothing more irritating than something that's squint. That'll do for me. Now I printed out, or rather I coloured and die cut some leaves the other day to use in the background for my picture. I'm going to have her at a wee jaunty angle. So let's just see what we've got here. Now some of these are kind of Christmassy. This might be too much actually. Oh wait a minute, that's quite a nice one. Right, that I think is going to be too much for this. Sometimes I watch videos and you know the old less is more. Some folk think that more is more, without doubt, and add so much to their backgrounds that you can barely see stuff. And you know, it's just a waste. But then again, a lot of the videos that you watch, the people add so much to things on the basis that they're getting it all for nothing anyway. You know, they're maybe part of a design team, and as a result of that they can, you know, effectively it's like money to burn, because you've got that much you can add. Do you know what, I'm really not sure about this. I think that might be too bright a green. I think that might be the muted ones are, oh wait a minute, I've got a kind of Christmassy leaf, because that blends in more so. If we add that, and I do make sure you know it's Christmassy, I've got a snowflake that I can add down here, and I'm going to add a word. Let's see what word we've got. Winter. Could just add winter at that. I think that's fine. That's the route we're going down with this, boys and girls. So let's you don't need to overdo things in terms of glue. You want stuff to stick. You certainly don't want it to come off, but you don't need to. This dries clear, by the way, so I'm not overly concerned about anything that's a wee bit excessive. You want it to stick, but you don't necessarily want it so much that it's spewing all roads when you're you're adding it. And believe you me, I've been in that boat. Now, I've got some glue in my fingers that I want. I'm going to add a wee bit of dimension to her, to hold her up from the tag. And to do that, I've got some sticky tape, some foam tape. So we'll put some of that on to the picture. The thing about foam tape, and I learned this one the hard way, always, if you are going to use something like foam tape, support your whole image as much as possible, because it caves in, and it doesn't look particularly attractive when your picture bows in the middle. Right, I think that'll do for us, and we'll just take the tape off the back. Now, the other thing is, with the passage of time, sometimes these tapes and sticky papers, or sticky, what do you call it? The tape stuff you get, well, sticky tape I suppose. The sticky tape you get, it's not the most, we'll put it like this, the stick goes with time. So what you want to do is add a wee bit of glue to your tape, and there's much greater chance of it staying where it's meant to stay. Now, I'm going to put the lid on that, and I'm going to use a finer tip for applying the glue to this, because this is quite an intricate die cut rather. I think it's an X cut. Aye, X cut, that's what they're called around it. Which I think is a British company. But they did a range, or they do a range, of really cheap, kind of like 50p or £1 or something like that, dies that are all quite small. But they're, you know, it's, see when you're starting out and you're trying to decide what you need to buy to enable you to make 10 million cards and presents for folk, you waste an awful lot of money, because you don't know what to buy, and your judgment's not the best when it comes to actually picking what you want. Now I'm going to watch, because I put glue on that and some bits aren't going to actually stick to anything, so we want to make sure that, hold on, I need to make sure it's straight as well. It needs to dry without hairs or stuff sticking to the back yet. And we'll just put some on the word. Now the word I have, when I die cut it, this is some Tim Holtz Christmassy words. I don't know what it's called. I just know Tim Holtz did it, and they are all Christmas themed. But when I die cut it from a kind of glitter paper, or glitter card rather, and I layered it up on another level of what do you call it, cardstock that's white, just to give it a wee bit extra dimension. Now I'm going to set that on top of that now, right, to hold that down to make sure it flattens. What I would also like to do, because it's kind of Christmassy and you like to add these glittery sparkles, if you give me a minute here, I'm just raking through my drawer, trying to find I should have some sequins somewhere if I can find them. Oh, here we go. I've got some sequins, so what we'll do is, just to add a little extra glitter to this, is we'll just pick out some red, gold and green sequins, just for a wee bit of extra sparkle, because, well, it's Christmas and sparkle's what you do I don't like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have a wee bit of glitter. Sorry, glitter. I shouldn't say glitter. I've got some glitter, but do you know, it gets everywhere, and there's nothing worse than when somebody... Sorry, that's my phone, just a minute. Right, it's just a text. Right, I'm not being pig ignorant, I can reply to it in a minute. What I was going to say is, I like a bit of sparkle on a card, on a tag, but glitter itself, you know, if you've ever worked with glitter, or even when you receive a glittery card, it's all over your carpet and things like that, and there's nothing more annoying. So, you know, always be mindful of who you're sending stuff to. Are they going to want a ton of glitter? It's Timmy heard something. Oh, Daisy, wishty wishty. It's okay, whatever it is. Oh, I know, I know, I know. Oh, that Baba doggy. Baba doggy. Oh, she's enough a girl, so she is. Daisy's an awful whimpery wee puppy. Oh, Daisy, shushty tushty. What a wee puppy. Right, that's that. I've been putting off making these tags for days, and it's not exactly taking me hours to do it. Right, there you go. Hold on, I'm going to stand up. Right, that's my wee tag. I will use my, what do you call it, crocodile to put the hole in, and then we'll add a wee bit of ribbon to it, and that'll be our tag made. So, oh, excuse me. Right, so that's us. We've made our tag. I've punched a wee hole in the top, and I'll maybe put a wee paper, what do you call it? Wee paper strengthener thing. Now, I've got some gold ones here, so I'll maybe use one of them so that it coordinates with my tag. And that's my tag done. There we go. That's my tag. Right, so the tag's done. Time for the card, which is pretty much going to be same sort of idea. It's my envelope, we don't need that right now. Move that out of the way. So, my card itself is a square card, and it is, hold on a minute, I think it's meant to be 6 by 6 in terms of size. I bought a lot of square cards because I quite like squares. So anyway, square tag. What we need is, first of all, we need a piece of paper to provide our background. So let's see what we've got. I've been using this particular paper pad since Adam was a boy. I think it's a company called First Edition, trimcraft.co.uk. This is, I mean, I have literally been using this year in, year out for quite a while. So that's kind of jazzy. I mean, having said that, it's Christmassy, so you know. Or wait a minute, let's see what else we've got, because we've got some, and there are some plainer cards, or some plainer pages. in the book. There's not a lot left actually. I do I'll use this page. Bear with me, I'm going to obviously have to address Daisy. Shush! Stop it. She's obviously heard somebody outside. Someone will have stopped somewhere in the street and shut a car door, and that's all it takes to set off the Daisy dog. Right, I want to straighten this up. This is a 6x6 paper pad, but I want to obviously make it just a little bit smaller than, I'm going to have to take more off it than that. I need to make it just a wee bit smaller than the actual card, so that we get a white border all the way around. Right, that's fine, and I have now cut that to 5.5. How did you manage that? Why, that's quite impressive. Right, so I've got to make this 5.5, and unfortunately this doesn't, this particular wee paper cutter, which seemed like a really good idea at the time, doesn't cut, it doesn't have a measuring thing beyond 3.5 inches. So it's a bit of a nuisance in that respect, but you know, we'll cope. Right, that's fine. That's absolutely fine for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edge with Distress ink again. And my Distress ink blending tool from Ranger. And I'm going to distress every bit. Sorry, this is probably really noisy. It does make quite a bit of noise and mess, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to use, ordinarily I would use tape to stick down my cards because that's what I normally do, but for the sake of speed I'm going to use a wet glue and just go really easy on the amount I use, because as always when you use a wet glue it always gives you a degree of warping of your paper. Just make sure I've got it the right way up. And try as I might to get it straight, and that's us. That's fine. Next, what I want to do is add a bit of layering on top of this. So I've got this plain paper that I used on the tag, and what I'll do is I'll maybe cut just kind of like a rectangle of this. To just add a bit of interest, and I'll need another piece of card. I've got quite a lot of that, but do you know, that is just so jazzy that I don't feel it's appropriate for this. So I'm not going to use it on this. Got 3 sheets yet still. Right, wait a minute, where's that? I mean, we could use that here or that. All of those. Could go with just a bit of everything else that's left in the book. I think I'll use a piece of this. It's been in the book so long that it's not really tearing terribly well when it comes to trying to get it out. Right, I'm going to have to take the edge off that because it's got glue from the paper pad, so that's absolutely no use to man or beast. And what we want to do is we want to actually make it a bit smaller than that, I would say. Right, that's looking good. So we'll do to this the same as we did with everything else. We go around the edge with the distress ink. And then we shall use, ow, my back, got a really sore back. I had to lift Timmy up the other day to wash him, and I think I've done my back in when I did it. Oh, because he's not exactly a lightweight. I mean, he's not a big dog, but he's like his mum. He's a fondness for putting on the beef. Right, I'm going to have to do some cleaning up with this table when I'm done. Right. Let's have a look at our card, which is absolutely covered in, right, we can clean that, don't worry. Right, so what we want to do is we want to introduce a bit of layering. We need to cut an image as well, because I was wanting to use still keeping with the vintage theme. As you know, I really like vintage. So I hate fussy cutting, really hate it. I'm not very good at cutting a straight line, to be fair. Which is probably why I don't really enjoy fussy cutting, because I know that 9 times out of 10 when I do it, I look at it and I think that's really quite poorly done. But anyway, as the good thing is, see when you've done your fussy cutting, if you use your distress ink, it invariably covers up any kind of mishaps if you like to say, in terms of your actual cutting. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to layer these down. I'm going to make sure that's stuck as well. We're going to lay this down, get my glue, Trying to make sure you do things as straight as you can, remember. Hold it down to make sure it's definitely stuck. My trusty acetate. Obviously overdid the glue on that side, but it's okay because it's a dry clear glue, so we'll get rid of that, don't worry. It won't be screamingly obvious. Right, so that's stuck. We want to layer this on it as well. I'm going to actually do a wee bit more distress in there because I don't think it's not as noticeable as I would have liked it to have been. Going to put that down there, and again try and make sure you can that it's stuck down. Now we're going to introduce some die cut leaves again. So a bit of that I'm not very happy with. And I'm a bit of a fuss pot when it comes to accuracy. I don't like things not being quite as they should be. Right, so if we introduce that, see, we'd quite like, wait a minute, we've got some bigger. If I'm being honest, I think I would have sooner they were different colours. Well, not different colours, but different shades of green. So I just think it goes better. Do I like that? No, I don't. Why don't we just stick with the one? Now, in terms of what else we can add here, I've got a little gingerbread man, or I could add a bauble. If I add the bauble, I'm going to have to find something for that. I've got a different bauble. I've got a bell. I've got a tree. And I'm going to add a word. So I've got quite a big one here. I've got Wonderland. But if I use Wonderland, Wonderland's really quite big. It's going to, I think it's too big to sit across the bottom of the card, so it's going to have to go at the side like that. I know, I don't like that. We could go for believe. I'm not sure about the tree. We'll get another snowflake. No, don't know about the snowflake either. I think the wee gingerbread guy's a good bet. This needs to do you know, I think it's that shade of green that's getting me. I just don't think it's right for what I'm aiming for. I think that's too much. Maybe in a smaller. That's fine, and then what we could do is just add some sequins. I think we'll go with that. Excuse me. Right, so the first thing we want to do is we'll stick down the leaves, and because this is fairly fine in terms of lots of little spindly bits, to glue it we'll use the fine nozzle. And I bought these bottles. I can't even remember who it was that was selling them. I think it might have been that company that does, I think it's called Sticks 2. It does a variety of different things that are all craft related, obviously. But I'm pretty sure they sell a set of 3 bottles that come with the fine tip nozzles and little pins, and you use your own glue. And the glue I've actually got in this, believe it or not, is just a child's PVA that I bought in the supermarket, because I am really sick to death of duff expensive glue. Well, I mean, obviously I use a lot of glue because I've done a lot of work in terms of paper crafting, and I have tried them all, and with varying degrees of success. And the added problem you've got is invariably they either come flying out because they're the hole that you've cut at the top of them is too large, or alternatively you're really struggling to get them out of the tubes or whatever. I mean, even this Allen's tacky glue, I've already had to take the knob, or but the nozzle thing off that, and wash it out because it was just all clogged. So when I was doing that, I added a teeny wee bit of water to the actual glue itself, just to try and make it that wee bit more fluid, because I'm honestly sick to death of spending an arm and a leg on glues that are just no fit for purpose, and they see you coming. See, as soon as you shove the word craft in it, it's like a license for some folk to print money. It really is. They're ripping us off left, right and centre with some of the stuff you're buying, because it's just, the quality's just not there. I mean, there's absolutely, I'm going to put this on foam pads, by the way, to give it a wee bit of dimension. But the quality's just not there, and you know, you put up with it for so long, and then it reaches the stage where you think, enough's enough. I'm getting sick to death of spending this kind of money for things that just don't work for me. I mean, that, what do you call it, Fabri-Tac, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it. I think it's a good enough glue. The only problem is, see, if you're not using it really regularly and you go away and you leave it for a couple of days, what you come back to is all gunked up. Then you start having problems getting it out. I know it's all very well for them to say, and you can add a little bit of what is it, acetone to thin it out. But see, as soon as you start thinning it out, you've altered the glue in terms of everything it does, you know, both its drying times and just moan, sorry. But I do get really sick of it, because it shouldn't be that difficult to find a glue. Plus, I don't think it's particularly cheap. Let's face it, it's these kind of things are, I don't mind spending stuff on craft things when I can actually physically look at something, you know, and see where the money's went. If I was spending the money on a dye, aye, fair enough. But see, when you're spending the money on glue, and that glue, you know, let's face it, it's not something you want to look at. So, you know, I don't want to be spending an absolute fortune in glue for it to no do what it's meant to do. That's too much in his nose. I'm going to have to get some of that off. Wait a minute, I need to hold him upright to have a look at him and make sure he's straight. I think he's okay. So I'm going to sit that on him to hold him, flatten him out a bit, make sure he doesn't get all googly googad, whatever googly googad is. I'm going to add the fine tip to the words because again the Tim Holtz words, really like them, but they're very, very fine, which doesn't make it easy to stick them down anywhere. And I know you can use double-sided, you can get double-sided stuff that you stick on and die cut with it, and the theory is it makes it a lot easier. But again, it's one of these things that is quite expensive, and sometimes when it's a really, really fine thing, it's an absolute devil, and that's me being polite, an absolute devil to try and remove it, to stick your word or whatever down, your intricate die cut. Right, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to have to stick that down a bit, wait a minute. Itty bitty glue here. Right, hold that for a second. This is fighting back. Now, it's a dry as clear glue, so I'm not really overly worried about that. Right, we want to get some sequins, just to add a wee bit of sparkle to our thing there. I don't know, I can't remember who did these sequins, who I got these from. But they were obviously sold. It'll be a Dovecraft product, I think. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I like odd numbers, as we all know, is the kind of preferred. Right, so let's just bits and bob glue here and there and stick down our wee thingies. I'm looking at the red ones there and thinking if I had holly, they'd probably make nice wee berries, those red sequins. And I'm going to put this on here above the eye so that it looks like the dot on my eye. And that's me, I think, with my card, which didn't take terribly long either. Put away my stuff. I'm going to have to tidy up the back of this card because I've made a right mess with all these wee bits of thingy on it. Right, so there's basically the card. Are you seeing that okay? So we've got our leaves, our sequins for our wee bit of sparkle, our wee sparkly gingerbread man, our vintage image, our holograph thingy, our Tim Holtz word down the bottom, and that's us. So I'm going to take my cloth, which looks absolutely filthy, and I'm going to try and clean up the back of my card. And I'm not making a wonderful job of that, but that can be rectified. If need be, get a white jelly roll pen and you can touch up any wee bits of mess that you've got. So let's get some, I'm just looking for my, not thread, but my baker's twine to make my tag. And the tag having been made out of this grey board stuff, it's really quite robust, so it can easily be used as a decoration on a tree. Once you've, you can write your greeting on the back and post it off, and it will be perfectly okay to hang in a tree. There we go. That's us. Right, Moira, stand up. So, that's our tag. Move that clue out the way. That's our tag that we made. And then our Christmas card, which is the same sort of idea. So by same sort of idea, what I'm meaning is I've used a kind of glittery die cut of some description. The snowflake on this one, this wee gingerbread guy in this one. I've used some die cut leaves. I've used a vintage image, and I've used one of the Tim Holtz words, some papers that look kind of Christmassy come vintage, and some sequins just for a wee bit of sparkle, and that's it. So not terribly difficult to do, something that's achievable by most of us if you've got any kind of dies, because again, I mean, just because I've used different dies, you don't have to. If you wanted to make all your cards roughly the same sort of concept, there isn't any reason why you couldn't. Anyway, that's it. So thanks for joining me today. Hope somebody found that interesting, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye guys, bye.